Hello, readers. Welcome back. So I thought that it was so cool that yesterday, a lot of us thought that we didn't know what expository nonfiction was. But as we were reading, we realized that we actually have seen lots of books that look like this before, that are expository nonfiction books. And we just didn't realize that we had seen them before. So that was really cool to see that even though we thought we didn't know about our new unit topic, we actually have seen a lot about that topic before. So today we are going to be doing something kind of similar, and we're going to be thinking about the topic of a book and starting to sketch note about it. And then we're going to think about what we already know about the topic, and then we're going to add to what we know about it while we read. So make sure before we start that you have your reader's notebook with you and something to write with, and that you have turned to a new blank page. This is the title for our book today that I have written down. If you want to write it down in however you want to write your sketch note title page, it is called Backyard Jungle Safari Raccoons. So go ahead and write that down. Pause the video now if you don't have your reader's notebook and a pen with you, and get yourself ready to go. So I'm going to share my screen with you and show you our book for the day. Let's get all nice and set up here. Perfect. So we are reading Raccoons, and it is by Tammy Gange. And this book, what I want us to do before we start, something that I think is really important whenever we read a nonfiction, an expository nonfiction book, I like to ask myself a question before I start reading. The question that I like to ask myself is, what is the topic of this book? Remember that a topic is like the main idea, the big thing that the book is about. So in your topic is just going to be like a couple words. So in a word or two, just looking at this at this cover and this description, what do you think this book is about? Yeah, so I think that this book is about raccoons. So something that we're going to practice today is we are going to practice, who remembers, can make the connection to whenever we made a web for our writing. Remember we made webs thinking about stories for our writing? Well, we are going to be making a web today about this. So we're going to take our topic and we're going to put it as the center of our web. I want my web to be really, really big. So I'm going to make it like at the center of both the pages so that I can use both pages to make my web. And I am going to put a circle around it just like that. So I know that my book is going to be about raccoons, and something that I like to do before I even start reading and start getting all the new information, because what we've learned about expository nonfiction is that it gives us lots of information and really wants to teach us about our topic, right? So before I even start reading, I want to think about, what do I already know about the topic? What do I already know about raccoons? And this reminds me, whoa, I already have a connection. Yesterday, we read a book about baby animals in the city, and we learned about raccoons. Who remembers that? So that is some information that we already know about raccoons before we even read this book about raccoons. So something that I learned from the baby animal book yesterday is that raccoons, they eat garbage. Did anybody else learn that? That raccoons eat garbage? So that's one thing that we can already put on our web. Think about what else you know about raccoons. Maybe you can think about what they look like. Maybe you already have an image in your head of what a raccoon looks like. Maybe you want to draw that here. So I know that they have like some ears like this. They've got kind of like this. And they're black and white like that. So I'm just going to draw a quick picture of a raccoon here as another one, and I'm going to put that they're black and white. And also from our book yesterday, who remembers that they live in the city? Remember our book was Baby Animals in the City? So I know that they live in cities. So I'm going to put that as something else on my web. So go ahead and pause the video and take a second to add to your web if you can think of anything else that you already know about raccoons. Once you come back and you remember, you have your page all filled out for what you know about raccoons already, then it's a good time to start reading. And I want you to remember that we're going to add to this sketch note as we read. So any facts that you learn about raccoons or you think are interesting to add to your raccoon map, you're going to go ahead and add those in. So let's get started. Hey, quick, grab a flashlight, Zoe calls to her friend Ethan as they head outside on their backyard safari. They are in search of the Procyon loter, better known as the raccoon. Oh, so that's its scientific name. That's something I didn't know before. So we have a name that we call an animal that's like the name that we call it in like our everyday life. Like if you saw a raccoon outside, saw that little guy that looked like that, you would call it a raccoon, right? But also their technical name is right on the screen. So I want to add that to my web so I can remember that later. So I'm going to put scientific name. And I'm going to write that down. Procyon lotor. Now I've got its scientific name too. And I'm also going to go back and look at one of my drawings from before about my raccoon. And I'm like, okay, I kind of got it right. Its ears are kind of right. I put that it was black and white. That's true. But I also remember that it has those like marks, the black marks on its face, like it's showing me in that picture. So I'm going to add those to my picture because I really feel like that helps show that it's a raccoon. Now does my raccoon look more like a raccoon? Yeah, I think my sketch note looks more like a raccoon now because I added to it using the book. Let's keep going. When it also says, better known as the raccoon, the common backyard visitor is nocturnal. That means that he is more active at night. So I'm going to add that raccoons are nocturnal. And if I don't remember what nocturnal means, I might write that means that they're active at night too. And it says raccoons have excellent vision at night. So I'm going to keep reading and remember to keep adding to your map. Keep adding to your web. The first stop is the garbage can at the end of the driveway. Zoe knows that getting into trash is one of the animal's biggest talents. So we have that on our map already, on our web, sorry. If a raccoon smells something good inside the can, the lid will be no match for this crafty critter. The raccoon's hand-like paws make easy work of opening lids, latches, and other devices. Raccoons are intelligent animals with excellent memories. Did you know that? Is that something you want to add to your web? Ethan shares, the word raccoon comes from the Native American word, raccoon. This is what the Powhatan tribes call the raccoon. It means he scratches with his hands. When people leave food out for raccoons, the animals are known to scratch at doors to ask for seconds. They can be so sneaky that they will even use the dog door to come inside and steal more food. Oh no, we're too late, Zoe declares. Clearly something got into the trash. See those tiny footprints in the snow? They are just the right size and shape to be left by a raccoon. Longer back feet and shorter front feet, each with 5 long toes. Let's follow the tracks to see if they lead us to the furry thief. So I think that animal tracks are really interesting. So something that I'm going to add, I'm going to draw a raccoon print on my book. So it kind of has a shape like this. And then I see that it has 5 toe marks. So I'm going to make sure to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to put 5 long toes to remind me later that I drew that because it has 5 toes. It's fitting that raccoons are thieves. These clever bandits even look like the part. When you first see a raccoon, you may think he's wearing a disguise. The black mask that surrounds the animal's eyes is just dark fur, though, Zoe explains. A surprising number of raccoons live in cities. Look at that! A connection to our book from yesterday. When they aren't fisting through trash, raccoons can be found in wooded areas near water. They live in every state of the US mainland as well as Mexico. Many raccoons make their homes in hollow trees. In fact, some raccoons are even born 20 to 40 feet, 6 to 12 meters above the ground in these homes. Raccoons can sleep for weeks in a hollow tree during winter. A raccoon's best sense is its touch. This sense works even better than underwater. It looks like this raccoon traveled through the backyard and down over the hill towards the stream, Ethan points out. Many raccoons like to rinse their food in water before eating it. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I'm going to write that down because that's so interesting to me. I didn't know that at all. Rinse their food in water. Can you imagine a raccoon getting something, eating from the garbage? I'm going to put a line to the garbage because I think that connects to that point. So they eat garbage, they rinse their food in water. So maybe they get something from the garbage, but then they rinse it in water. That's so cool. It may seem like they are washing the food when they do this, but actually they are softening it to make it easier to chew. Wow, that is so cool. So they rinse their food in water to make it easier to chew. Add that to my map. That's super interesting to me. Aha! Zoe shouts. She and Ethan have located their burglar at the edge of the stream. The brownish gray fur, along with the pointed ears and snout, all fit the raccoon's description. However, it is his bushy ringed tail that confirms it. Raccoons have 5 to 8 light and dark rings around their tail. Garden owners may even surrender to their hungry night friends by leaving them samples in a dish for dinner. The raccoon is even holding proof that he is indeed the thief they are seeking. Look between his tiny toes, Zoe points. It is the skin from the baked potato I ate for dinner last night. If it were summertime, the raccoon might have raided the family's garden and said, instead, this species is especially fond of sweet corn. Once the raccoon has eaten the last of the potato skin, he dashes over to the rotting tree stump. This is where he will find tonight's dinner. Termites! Yuck! Zoe and Ethan shout together. Raccoons will eat almost anything. Among their favorite foods are fruit, berries, insects, grubs, and small rodents. So we put that they eat garbage. I'm going to draw another line off of that and also put that they eat fruit, berries, and insects. Because that's something I wasn't sure before. I knew that they ate trash, but I wasn't sure what else they ate. Raccoons are excellent swimmers. This skill helps them reach food that other land animals cannot, such as fish, frogs, and even clams. Raccoons are omnivores. Remember that from our book yesterday? What does that mean? That means they eat both plants and animals. Few animals hunt raccoons, however. When a coyote or fox comes near, most raccoons simply run up the nearest tree. Raccoons can run up to 15 miles per hour and are good swimmers. That sounds like a good fact to write down on our web too. A mother raccoon will attack a predator that gets too close to her kits or babies. Raccoons mate between January and March. A litter of 4 to 6 kits arrives about 8 weeks later. The babies stay with their mother until they are 9 to 12 weeks old. Most will live about 2 to 3 years. Raccoons in zoos often live up to 20 years. Wow, I didn't know raccoons lived longer in zoos. Adult raccoons can grow between 24 and 38 inches in length and weigh 14 to 23 pounds. Male raccoons are slightly bigger than females. Both make a variety of noises, including growls. Can you give me a raccoon growl? How do you think they growl? Hisses. How do you think they hiss? And scream. How do you think they scream? A group of raccoons is called a nursery. Male raccoons do not help raise the kits. Why is the raccoon whistling? Ethan asks. Just then, Zoe realizes that the raccoon isn't a male after all. The raccoon is a mother. She is calling her kits to dinner. Here they come. 1, 2, 3. Now where is she going? Zoe wonders. It seems kit number 4 has fallen into the stream. Mom darts back into the water and carries him out by the scruff of his neck, just like a mother cat holds a kitten. Hopefully his siblings have saved him some dinner. Ethan smiles. All right, here's our last page. Okay. Great job, readers. So we made this awesome web about raccoons in our reading journal. Something that I would like you today and what you will be doing for your seesaw assignment is you will be turning to your next blank page and you will be creating a web. Remember that you will have the title up here and you will have the topic or what the book is about in the center. So today I want you to go on Epic and find a book from the collection that has been assigned to you, the one called Oregon Flora and Fauna. And you're going to find any book to read in that collection and make a web about it to turn in on Seesaw. You're going to want to make sure that you do this before our Zoom later in the day because we will be talking about it then. I can't wait to see your webs today. And I want you to remember before you start reading any of the books that are in your collection that you've been assigned or any expository nonfiction book, remember to think about the topic and write down what you know before you start reading and then add to it so that you can have even more knowledge about the topic. Because remember, that's what's so cool about expository nonfiction, that we get to learn so much about so many cool topics. Great job, fourth graders.